I don't get any more.
Is that how you drink your drinks till it's empty?
Yeah.
And he drinks it
Insight.
weird too. He like sticks his tongue out and like like.
I do not.
Bellamy does that. It's okay.
What?
We have it on camera,
I
Todd.
do not. I don't know what
You
that
can
is.
clip that up.
We need to edit that. Let's start over again here because I know you're going to put that in. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know how that works. No.
All right. Hi, and welcome to the Y'all Ain't Right podcast. I'm Brittany. I'm here with Tyler and Todd. Nick is not here today.
And you got it right.
Yep. I didn't have to think too hard.
I was going to say last time it was a pause.
This is cup number 2 of decaf, so I'm like,
Decaf. Why do you?
yeah, I'm like half caffeinated now.
No wonder you were yawning.
Decaf doesn't do anything.
It still has caffeine in it. It's just not as much.
But it's
Through the
Google
air,
it.
maybe, or something like that. Yeah,
decaf.
Google it.
I'm going to. 'Cause I need to fact check this.
Yeah. Is it like slightly decaffeinated? Cause
I think it's less than half the caffeine. See, I didn't realize whenever I was working in a restaurant that older people needed less caffeine for heart or whatever. And they would ask for decaf during the middle of the afternoon. And I'm like, well, you're at a restaurant in the middle of the afternoon. I'm going to give you whatever's brewed. So half the time I would just give them caffeinated.
It removes 97%, so
Yeah.
3%.
you've got like 2 crumbs of caffeine in there.
Well, now I have 4. So
Oh my gosh.
An 8-ounce cup of decaf contains about 2 to 5 milligrams of caffeine
I thought it was more than that.
That's not
versus 95 for regular.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big difference.
I swear I thought it was more than that.
Minuscule. It's like breathing.
Placebo
You probably
effect.
get more from caffeine from breathing
I
air.
probably get more from just being next to Tyler,
Yeah.
just
I was gonna
residual
say,
caffeine.
Don't rub up against his skin. 'Cause look at his skin. It's red.
It is red.
He's seeping
He
caffeine.
puts the red in Red Bull.
How much caffeine is in your
Like 180 milligrams, I think. So like 2 cups of coffee ish.
how many ounces is it? 16.
Like 16.
So 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're all caffeinated this morning.
Well, that's not right because 95 is in a, so it's about the same as coffee. If
Double.
It's 180.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because it's 16 ounces.
Yeah. Maybe it was 160. It's either 160 or 180, but yeah.
There's too much calories in those though, because I like the chocolatey.
Oh, those are the zero. Those
Yeah.
That's not coffee though. That's just the soda.
Ain't nothing in this life for free.
I was gonna say that's what instead of
Instead of
sugar, what does it have?
Aspartame.
Probably aspartame. Yeah, the stuff that'll kill you.
Cancer.
Of course, I'm over there drinking a Diet Coke. So.
Yeah.
And before we forget, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. We are now on YouTube, so you can watch the full video there. And occasionally our lovely editor will put in some pictures or some clips or fun stuff like that. So be sure to subscribe,
Yeah.
comment, send us an email.
Get your friends to watch also.
Send it to your friends, yes.
Yeah. Help us grow. We really could use new subscribers to keep going.
And if you want to be a sponsor,
Yeah. Yeah, reach out to us at holler@yarpod.com. We do have some sponsorship opportunities available.
We are about to hit 1,000 listens on just our audio platforms alone. So,
Which is awesome.
yeah, exciting stuff. So today we are talking about bears.
Bears. That
Chicago
was-
Bears.
I knew you were going to go there.
Didn't think about that one.
That was a terrible segue, but we'll allow it.
Is that a segue? If we,
Not really.
I was gonna say.
No, I found out that bears, they can live to be like 20 to 30 years old. But the other thing that when I found that out reminded me that I found out the other day that chickens can live up to like 8 years.
Depending on what breed, yes.
Oh my gosh. I associate chickens with being more of like, I don't know, maybe insect-like.
Oh
just
my
living
God.
like a very short lifespan.
No.
Depends on how hungry you get.
But I thought about you whenever I found that out. I was like, do people ever like kill like a 7 or 8 year old chicken and eat that one?
Not really, because as they get older, their meat's tougher.
Yeah.
They're just not as,
Those are used for stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, they would be. If you, not to be wasted, that would be how you would do.
Because you have the super young ones are the ones that they use for meat.
And it's different breeds, too. Like, you have meat birds that don't lay as much, and they typically grow to be a meatier size. And then you have the others that lay once a day. So, depends on the breed.
I think I'm a meat bird.
Yeah. I had a bunch of layers. I only have like 3 chickens left now, but I have one that was a meat bird that she's like the fattest thing ever. She can't hardly even fly up on her nest. I had to actually give her like a step on the ground so she can kind of like hop her way up because she's so fat. And then I have another one, and she can go from the ground straight up, and she's a layer, so she lays every day. Not in the wintertime, though, because it's cold.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of chickens. I mean, I remember my grandmother having them as a child, but also just remember them butchering them.
Some of the roosters are mean. You've got to watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Mine thinks he's mean, but he's too dumb to like come at you in a straight line. So
I'm just afraid to get pecked by any bird, period. That's always been a fear of mine.
I was laying out in my driveway just trying to get a tan over the summertime. Some of my
Never mind. I
neighbors.
wasn't sure where we were going with that one.
I was tanning. And some of my neighbors have chickens. And I live in the middle of the city, and we're like on top of each other. And they have like, you can have up to 7 chickens where we're at.
Keep opening it up.
In the city. Anyway, I'm laying there. I have headphones in. I'm listening to podcasts or something like that. My eyes are closed. And something hit my foot. And it was one of the roosters. And I screamed bloody murder. And so now, and then occasionally I have a cat that's outside. And occasionally she'll come up and she'll like lay on my head or whatever. And so now I'm still paranoid about the chicken. And every time that she comes and lays on me, it freaks me out. But anyway, side note, I thought of you whenever I found that out about bears. And then I remember the chickens. But yeah, so anyway, we have 20 to 30-year-old bears out there. That kind of blows my mind.
yeah, that's an old bear. I didn't know they lived that long, but I also never like thought about, oh man, how long do bears live?
We have bears that remember 9/11.
That is crazy. I don't know what to say to that. Hashtag canceled.
I think we would all like to forget that day. But
Yeah.
You know how fast they can run?
Fast enough to know that you're stupid to try to outrun one.
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to be anywhere near one on 2 feet on,
Yeah.
I mean, they're
not
huge.
in a vehicle.
Yeah, they're huge. You wouldn't think that they would run that fast, but it's like over like 35 miles an hour or more.
I believe it. And probably a grizzly could run even faster.
Yeah.
They're like straight up muscle, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are crazy. They're like, oh, I think I can outrun that bear. It's like, no, you've turned on its predatory instinct, and you're a prey who's running. Like, now it wants you more.
Dude, yeah, it was saying like where you're supposed to, I've always heard maybe like lay down, play dead, whatever, if you run into a bear. But apparently that's a big myth.
Is it?
Yeah. You're supposed to, okay, this is going for black bears. I don't know how, because that's all I care about, because that's all I'm going to run into.
Yeah.
But they say to like fight back, or if it starts to attack you. But really, you're supposed to, they're pretty passive and like, I guess kind of scared of things, and they just don't want a lot of like confrontation. So if you talk really loud but like in low tones, that's supposed to,
So I would be okay, like yelling at it.
Yeah, that's supposed to freak it out. And anyway, but you're not supposed to play dead, because that will not.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not laying down in front of a bear.
Yeah.
That's just like,
Come
that's
get
just
me.
asking me. Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like that's just inviting it.
The bear is.
From all the videos I've ever seen, where they've swiped at somebody or something like that, they've almost been either cornered or their way out. You were in the way. There was that video over the summer where one was in a trailer. I think it was a food trailer somewhere. In
I saw
Gatlinburg.
that.
I don't know if it was up at in a keister or what it was, but it was in a trailer, and the worker, somebody was filming out front, and the worker came along, didn't know it was in there, and the only way out was through the back door. I mean, there was a counter, but it would have had to go up and over. So, like, it was trying to go out, and the worker was literally, like, right there. And it, like, kind of, I think they had to euthanize that one because it took a swipe at them. But literally, it was, the human was in its way.
Yeah.
And that's the way it usually is. Like, the candy store one, you know, that one bugged me because there's so many people out front. The only way out was, you know, that's where the crowd was. It was, looked like they had sliding glass doors, but they had them propped open.
Yeah.
And then finally the cops came and were trying to get people away, but people were not getting away. So I don't know what they ended up doing with that one.
And the crazy shop workers in there like slapping at the bear, like, "Oh, don't eat my candy.
Yeah.
No, get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing? People are crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah, when I worked for a cabin rental place, there were some owners would sometimes send us videos, and there was one bear that went around. It checked like all of the door handles of the car. It knew to each individually to see if they were unlocked. And people that leave their car unlocked, it just blows my mind. But and there was one. It was really cute. It was funny. The owner had sent where it had opened the hot tub flap and gotten in the hot tub. It was during the middle of the summer, and it was just kind of
It's just
hanging out in there.
Hanging out, just chilling in the hot tub.
Yeah. I mean, we're encroaching on them. It's not the other way around. I mean, they were there first. I mean, you just got to be smart around them. But, you know, so many times, everyone wants to get that video of them and stuff. I just saw in the news this morning that a couple of them got a viral infection at the reserve they were in. But last year it killed a couple, but hopefully I think now that they've had it happen a couple times or happened before, they know how to treat it. So hopefully they're okay.
They probably pumped out a shot for it pretty quickly.
Yeah, they had the UT vets and stuff like that working on them.
So the bears were getting sick?
Yeah, some sort of viral infection. I don't know if it was from being in the reserve or whatever, and one of them had just came in, but it had some burns. They don't think it was from anybody abusing it. It probably got into somebody had a campfire or whatever.
Yeah.
And got into it, or might have been, a forest fire or something like that. So, but it had some burns to its face and hands. So.
Yeah, there's apparently, I know we talked about this before, but like 2 bears per square mile in this area. We've got the biggest population of black bears. If we're going to have a population of something, I'm glad it's those.
Yeah.
Because I actually ran into one on a showing recently, and it was just a few feet away from my car. But just seeing something like that in person, I hadn't seen a bear in person until I moved to this area. And since then, I think there's been like 3 or 4 different occasions. One of them was we were at a cabin, and my friend, I was like, I hear something in the forest walking around. I was like, I think it's a bear. She's like, no, it's not. We're sitting on the porch. So she walks down to where the trash cans are, and it pops. She's on this side of the trash can, and it was on the other side. And I was like, there is a bear right there. I was like, come back. And it just kind of like looked around and then like kept walking the other direction and didn't even blink twice at her at all.
Yeah.
But
most of the like recorded bear sightings that I see lately, that's kind of how they are. They're just like, oh, there's a person, whatever. And they just don't care.
Yeah.
Which is becoming a problem because they can just walk right into crowded areas.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see them going down the street, Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Or just, like you said, the cabins. But they've learned how to open those doors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a learned, that's just amazing to me that they know how to open them.
They're smart.
I mean, they've got the hands for it. I mean, but if you ever see those claws,
they're huge.
You don't want to.
God.
Yeah, you don't want to get to, imagine a grizzly.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I mean, let alone a black bear. But, yeah, it's just crazy. Back home, we had some bears here and there. I remember seeing one time when we were out looking for deer, and, it was far enough away, but also, one of the friends was like, let's get the heck out of here. I'm like, we're in the car. It's okay. But still, I mean, you just don't know.
I mean, if they wanted in that car, they were getting in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all had our windows down. I think one friend got out and stood, but it was a good.
Do you want a
good
hot
piece
dog?
It was a good piece away, but still,
Just waving food out the window.
People will do that.
It sounds like something Todd and his friends would have done too.
Yeah.
Based on the stories we've heard.
There was beverages involved.
I was about to say they'd try to give it beer, maybe.
That I could see.
Well, but I mean, bear wrestling used to be a thing. I mean,
That's
the
crazy.
humane society frowns upon it, but but those were big. A lot of them were grizzlies, and I think it was something really big in Russia. And
That definitely sounds like something you'd see in Russia.
somebody's pet. But I mean, that's 200 pounds just laying on you
Yeah.
with a muzzle on.
Yeah. I don't think I could really live, I don't know, anywhere else in the world, much less anywhere else in the United States, because this seems to be the most mild place for like predators.
Yeah.
You've got rattlesnakes and alligators and grizzly bears and all this kind of stuff on
But
different
we do
parts
have
of the country.
rattlesnakes.
They just released a bunch of rattlesnakes. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not hear about it.
In the area, I think it was like 1,500 or something like that they just released because they're trying to bring them back to the area.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah, they're like, it's good for the ecosystem. I'm like, it's not good for my ecosystem.
Yeah, we already have enough copperheads and stuff around here,
Yeah.
So, no thank you.
At least we don't have like a lot of natural disaster, hurricane. Well, never mind.
Too soon.
It did clear most of us, but it did get
Yeah.
the top.
Usually we don't
Yeah.
have floods and that kind of stuff. But
The mountains typically protect us from that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, but
well, that's why even here in Knoxville, tornadoes. What the last one we had, that was the first one in 50 years. But natural disasters, and it's not like Texas with scorpions, although we do have some scorpions and stuff like that. I don't think we have
people do not believe me
poisonous.
when I tell people that we have scorpions around here. I'm
Yeah.
like, I have caught them.
Yeah, but not like Australia. Everything's trying to kill you. Everything.
Australia is a whole different thing. Every single thing is trying to kill you, all of it.
Or Florida.
And the things that are not trying to kill you are 4 times the size of the
Yeah.
stuff. Like the spiders are huge. It's like, it's not poisonous, but it could still eat you.
Yeah. It's freaky.
I was watching a video earlier. They made a reporter believe that it was a koala bear they were handing her, but they made it believe it was some other kind of bear. And they had her goggles on. She had the chest protector, like if you ride motorcycle and stuff like that, and all armored up. And they had her holding this koala bear like it was going to attack her. And then they weren't wearing anything when they handed it to her, but she didn't notice. And then when they took it back, and then handed it to somebody else, and they weren't armored up. And then she just kind of was deducing like, they got me. And she was just like. It was literally a koala bear. It was like, they can probably get you pretty good too because they have pretty big claws.
Yeah.
And they've got teeth and stuff like that. But
I think they're pretty mean, but luckily the eucalyptus that they eat or whatever, however it processes in their body, they're essentially just like almost drunk all the time. Yeah.
just like when seals jump up on people's kayaks and stuff like that, I feel like if they wanted to, they could go at you. Remember that video pulling that girl in the water the one time, little child? He
Are these
jumps
supposed to be
her by
universal
the-
videos? Because you keep saying you remember that video.
Yeah.
You know that,
I'll have to
unless you
share
sent
'em.
it to me specifically.
Well, but just it's been,
Yeah.
they were viral before viral, but
You see a lot of that stuff out there just rotating through.
yeah, there was one where it literally jumped up, grabbed a girl by the shirt, and pulled her under the
I know.
water.
I remember what you're talking about. 'Cause it's
Jeez.
like,
Yeah,
you wouldn't expect it from them.
yeah,
but
exactly. Everyone's like, but
They're so cute.
yeah, exactly. That's how-
yeah, that's like that little girl with the bear. Can I pet that dog?
How about that dog? Look at all them chickens.
Hey y'all, Tyler here with another real estate tip of the day. The process of buying land can be very different than buying an established home. Before you get carried away with visions of building your dream home, there are things you should consider. You should ask your realtor to check things like the property's zoning type, neighborhood restrictions, access to local utilities, and possible street access. You're also going to want to evaluate any potential land clearing or grading costs and check to see if a previous survey is on file in the county records office. These are only a few of the many parts of this process, and it's important that you work with an experienced agent to help guide you through it. If you want to know more about buying land, or if you have other real estate questions, be sure and give us a shout over at holler@yarpod.com.
I've seen many people run from chickens, like scared to death of them. I'm a healthy fear of chickens too.
Cheryl,
Let alone a bear.
She hates all birds, though. She says chickens, something about their beady little eyes and beaks.
No, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, the birds that's probably why.
Yeah, I think
They're
we
little dinosaurs.
saw that in the high school. They showed it at the auditorium.
Let's show a horror film, and yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I have a healthy fear. But I don't understand this whole concept of not being afraid of bears, buffalo, all these animals. People were just, I mean.
Well, if you go on a little safari thing and they've got a little tiny fence up, I mean,
you're behind a
that's
fence. Yeah, I mean, it's behind a fence, and still I'm going to be like.
A little fence.
Yeah, a little fence. I'm like, that's not enough room.
Yeah, for real.
You go to these places where you're feeding the llamas and stuff like that, and they stick their head in, and the buffalo. I'm like, I am not taking my car in there because
The thing, Disney, when they did the Animal Kingdom, and
Yeah.
you've got the safari through
Yeah,
there, and they
no.
have lions, and everybody's like, it's fine. They're well fed. And I'm like,
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
What if one day they decide they want to try something a little different than McDonald's or whatever else they're eating?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember,
little variety.
was it Siegfried or Roy? Which one got attacked by the?
I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
And they treat those animals like they're kids, better than their kids.
Yeah.
And they attacked.
It happens.
They
I
don't
mean-
know their strength. I mean, in a bear in the wild, I mean that's 10 times worse. I mean, these people were ignorant.
Have you guys ever seen a bison in person? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're huge.
They're big. They're
huge.
1,200, 1,500 pounds at least, I bet.
There was a ranch behind my dad's property, which, like, he lives on the 850 acres, but on the back part of the property that was kind of shorter, you could walk across the creek to the fence line where the ranch was, and they had bison there, and I got to see them all the time up close. Those things are huge. They're so big. Their head alone is huge.
I
Would you ever
bet.
see the woman that has is it an emu? That's just mean.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably made so much money on videos from that damn emu coming at her all the time.
It's so
and she's
funny.
like holding it. It comes
Yeah.
at her and, she can push it back and stuff, but it's still, I mean, it's not your friend.
Yeah.
Whether it's thinks it is or not. But, I mean, I'm like, yeah, no. And those are beady eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an emu,
Yeah.
not a bear. I mean, I see a bear. I almost drew on one time because it was a wooden cutout. I was showing cabins or showing property, and I went behind a building looking. I had to pee. And I went to go behind a building, and there was a big cutout of a bear. And, like, out of the corner of my eye, I was like,
I
oh,
wish
crap.
I wish it would have been a Sasquatch cutout instead of a bear. That was,
There would have been shots ringing out because I was carrying at the time.
oh man.
I mean, if I go to show cabins, I'm carrying over there because going to look in basements and crawl spaces and walking around them and stuff, you never know what you're going to run into.
That's what the bear mace is for.
I didn't have bear mace. I had mine.
I would spray it backwards and
Yeah.
spray myself.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe. I think that's just gonna make it mad. And if you're downwind,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
are you really going? Let me check the. Okay,
Did you see at the football game?
Let me take 2
Over
steps.
the weekend, somebody sprayed mace. Players started getting into it, and one of the cops sprayed mace and got one of the reporters.
Oh, no.
You could see it. It didn't go where they were fully intending it.
Yeah, that's. You gotta be careful spraying that
I
stuff.
mean, and there was a ton of people in the infield. I mean, it was bad.
I've never been sprayed directly with it, but I had a friend who was fun, and she sprayed it just because she's like, ha, 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 and sprayed it in the air. But when she did, the wind blew it right at me and a couple of friends. Stuff is awful.
I've seen it.
I couldn't imagine getting jet streamed right in the face
Oh.
with that stuff.
Yeah.
When they do the drill for police academies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
I've had several friends that are cops that have went through it. My brother is a cop. He had to go through it. I got to see the video of him going through it and getting tased. That was fun. It's like, better you than me.
I'll pass on both.
Yeah.
So the 3 countries that have no bears.
Does Australia have actual bears?
Cuba.
That's one of them.
Australia is one?
Mm-hmm.
Cuba?
Okay.
Is that a country?
Yeah.
Or a
Kinda. It's kind
It's
of
a country.
Kind of a province?
continent?
I was going to say
3
continent.
continents.
Oh,
no,
3
I was
continents.
going to say
Okay, yeah.
Antarctica.
Big difference.
Antarctica?
Yeah.
They don't have polar bears.
That's
Guess what?
Oh, that's the other
one.
side.
the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
side.
yeah.
That's where I knew I was going to be. I had a 50-50 chance of getting the
We're
right
getting in
continent.
deep water.
I was like, wait, which one?
And then
wait,
there's another one. So
Antarctica is south. Okay.
Antarctica, Australia.
Africa?
Yeah.
Africa
They don't have
Yeah,
anything.
'cause-
Nothing. I figured maybe they had
Nothing.
some sort of small.
They got elephants. They got
Right.
tigers. They got lions and no bears.
Yeah.
I
no
figured
bears.
maybe there was some little. Some of these are. No, that's a marsupial. What's the sloth? That's not a bear of
Yeah.
any kind.
I
Never
don't,
mind.
I don't think is that Africa? I don't know.
Oh no, not a polar bear. A koala's not a bear, is it? That's a mammal. Or a
Marsupial.
marsupial. That's
Yeah.
it. Not a mammal.
I mean, it is both of those things.
I
Koala bear.
don't remember the definition of any
But
of those,
it's
but it
not
sounds familiar.
actually-
They
bear.
named it wrong.
Well, I mean, a mammal is all the things that have hair, but a marsupial has a pouch.
Right.
Like whales are mammals.
Right.
Yep.
Fun fact. Polar bears, they actually have black skin
Yep.
to absorb the sun's heat.
I did know that.
Did not know that.
And they are scary.
Are they the largest? Are they bigger? Is a polar bear or a grizzly bear bigger?
I don't know.
I think a grizzly's bigger. Polar bears can get pretty big
Let's
too,
find out
though.
what the biggest
Grizzlies
bear
are
is.
ugly. They've got the hump on their
Yeah.
back, and they always look mangled.
Yeah,
Like,
their fur sticks out all like.
yeah, they look
Yeah.
like rabid bears.
They're scary just looking at them without them being big.
Yeah, we have cute little black bears. Polar bears are scary, but
Well, I mean, you just throw them a Coca-Cola and they're good.
I forgot about those. Oh, it's Christmas time.
Polar bear.
Polar bear.
How
is the
big's a polar
biggest.
bear?
The
On
largest
average.
bear in the world is the polar bear, although the Kodiak bear species of the brown bear is very close. Polar bear 900 to 1,500 pounds, with some individuals exceeding 2,200 pounds.
Golly, could you imagine?
Kodiak 800 to 14. Is a Kodiak bear a grizzly bear?
I think it's a
Same thing
species.
or no?
I don't know. I think they're close. Do I look like a bearologist?
Is that a thing?
Probably. I don't know. I just made it up.
I saw where they were. So the amount of calories that they eat in a day so they don't actually hibernate per se. They can wake up to move around or whatever. Their metabolism and their heart rate slows significantly, but they do semi-hibernate. And so while they're preparing for that, they're eating a ton of calories. And it was talking about how they could eat anywhere from like 5,000 to 20,000 calories in a day. And I remember watching My 1,000-Pound Life on TLC.
Jesus.
And someone was talking about how many calories they usually eat in a day. And one of them, they were like going out to eat, and they were talking about how they typically eat like 20,000 calories in a day.
Oh my gosh, they literally eat. You eat as much as a bear going into hibernation.
I think I
That's
came
so
close on
crazy.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5,000, I could do it on a weekend.
Yeah.
But
I would definitely hibernate after that.
I mean, when you think about like your average fast food meal being like 1,500 plus calories, it'd be pretty easy to do if you.
but if they're doing that mostly in like berries.
Yeah, like, well, that and they eat like fish and like bears are omnivores, right? So they eat like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can even sometimes eat each other. But supposedly it's always out of necessity and not aggression. So
Yeah, we've had a pretty mild winter the last couple years, and so I would say that they've probably had an abundance of food
That's probably why there's so many of. Well, yeah, that, and I think for just encroaching on them too. So
Yeah, that. I mean, we
haven't had any hard winters where they haven't had a tough time surviving and stuff like that.
Global warming.
Yeah,
That's probably not helping them too, because that's making their hibernation period shorter and shorter. Because, last year, how many really?
But do they
cold
need
days?
it?
I don't know if they
if it's
need
not
it
cold?
or if. I don't know. I don't know the science behind that.
Because I know their hibernation periods can be shorter or longer depending on how cold it is. So
Yeah.
maybe they don't need it unless it's cold.
Don't know the answer to that question.
I think a lot of animals, like, for example, chickens, people are like, oh, well, it's cold outside, so they're going to stop laying eggs. But they've done a lot of studies, and it's not the temperature change, it's the daylight change. So, like, when the seasons change and it starts getting dark at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think that sends a lot of animals into their winter mode. So, like, maybe that's what affects hibernation? I don't know.
Me too.
It would make sense.
Yeah. Apparently bears
So
are motivated by food and sleep a lot. So I'm essentially a bear.
That sounds like me. And I also like to hibernate in the winter because it gets dark at 6 o'clock. So
I think you
like,
hibernate all year round.
So
mostly.
a grizzly is a type of brown bear, but it's only 400 to 790 pounds.
Only.
So like half the size of a polar bear that's fully grown.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then smaller than a Kodiak bear.
Huh.
And then you have a grizzly.
And then we've got black bears, which are not even on that chart, really.
Yeah, how
I
big
mean,
are-
I think there's grizzly. I think the main place where there's grizzlies in the United States is like Washington
Yeah.
State, which Washington State sounds like it just sucks all around. I've met some people that moved from there and they were like, yeah, it's cloudy over half the year. He said something about, I think it was 160 or 180 days out of the year. It was cloudy and like rainy. And then they were talking about how they wanted to put a fence in their yard and they had to get this special tool because it was basically just like rock was like their ground. And saying it was like cold and crappy. And I'm like, no wonder you wanted to move.
sounds awful.
Average size of American black bear is 150 to 600 pounds.
Yeah, so they're pretty small in the bear world. They're still scary, though, up close and personal.
No, yeah, I'm not going to mess with a 150-pound black bear.
Yeah.
Oh, and bears can be left or right pawed, just like humans.
That is a oddly specific fun fact. I wouldn't have known that.
That's so cute.
I bet whenever they're trying to open a door, you probably could tell. They're
Oh,
using
yeah.
that.
Which one
Yeah,
are they?
that's true.
I have to go back and watch some videos when they go around the whole way.
Are most door handles? No, it doesn't. It just depends.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder if that could have any effect on it, but the
Wonder if they have a hard time opening Tesla doors because you've got to like push the thing and
You're probably okay there.
they're gonna figure out how to do the thumbprint and the
Yeah.
the Face ID.
no, that's raccoons. They're the ones that are smart enough to do all that.
I don't know. I feel like bears are smarter than raccoons.
They are pretty smart, but raccoons have the thumbs.
Little trash pandas.
I was gonna say, they gross me out. I won't-
Speaking,
to me, bears are dirty. Also,
Yeah,
I mean,
they are dirty
it's an animal. How is it dirty?
because it's dirty.
they're
They eat everything. They
yeah,
play in the
exactly.
trash.
Same way with
and-
trash pandas.
Yeah.
I mean, they will eat anything. They will. Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the mountains, you have to have a bear-proof trash can.
And the meat's greasy. Like I know some people used to hunt them and stuff like that.
I couldn't eat bear.
Oh yeah, I tried bear when I was younger. I forgot about that.
I've had bear jerky, and somebody had like bear steaks, and
Greasy.
they're
Yeah.
really, really gamey, tough, and greasy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
Because a lot back home, a lot of people used to hunt them.
Yeah. I could understand hunting bear for the pelts because that's what people
Yep.
really want, and the claws and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you have to control the population a little bit. You
Yeah.
can't just let them run willy-nilly.
Maybe feed it to the dog or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Wasn't sure where we were going with that one.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Just trying to think of
You
what
meant
I
the
would
meat.
do with it.
Let
Yeah,
the
yeah,
meat
yeah.
go away.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
most of my, they weren't. They only do a limited number of licenses, stuff like that, especially back home. I'm not sure how it works around here.
They only have they have a season, it's limited, and then depending on where you're at, they do a lot of stuff. They'll do lottery drawings for like now, because they released elk into the area a long time ago. Now it's been several years, and the population has grown to the point that it's self-sustaining, and they started opening hunting seasons for elk, but it's only within a certain area in a certain period of time, and it's like you apply to the lottery and you might get drawn, and then you have like one elk tag or two elk tags or something like that.
You don't see a lot of them in Smokies. You see them more up towards the Kentucky line and stuff like that, and over towards Middlesboro.
You see a lot of them. Yeah. Like if you go toward North Carolina, like over next to Cherokee.
I feel like over on that side.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah, I think that's mainly where they released them over there, and they did a lot in Kentucky. Used to see them sometimes between Paintsville and Hazard. I've seen them running the hills there, and Elk Valley up at exit 141 going up 75. You see them there, and you see them over towards Middlesboro, Kentucky.
I've not spent much time in Kentucky.
Yeah, I try to avoid it whenever possible. But anyway.
Used to run that when I did fuel and oil. Worked for the coal companies. I used to run that area. Nothing like, I mean, hitting a deer is one thing. Hitting the elk would be a whole different.
They're huge.
It's all big muscle. Yeah.
I saw a video with a moose going down the middle of the road. That thing was
Those are huge.
I've
never seen a moose in person, but looking at the videos, I'm like, God, they're like 3 times the size of our little deer.
I saw one when we were in Colorado, and we were on one of those little ski lift things that's enclosed, and it was below us. It was so crazy. It was so big.
And they can be mean too.
Oh yeah, if you get near them, especially whenever in runt season and stuff like that, a male, they're fast.
Especially then, they're all territorial and ready to fight and pumped full of hormones.
Imagine it's one thing to have a person on steroids, let alone a elk. Imagine a grizzly or a brown bear or polar bear.
And I think it's like late fall is the most dangerous time, because that's when they're really trying to pack in the calories. Food starts to get scarce and they start getting really, really active. That's when you got to watch out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch out for anything. I'll try to get a video. Let's get a selfie with it.
Yeah.
People kill me.
I could see Todd doing that.
No,
too.
I would not do that.
Where in Tennessee is Todd? With a bear.
I'm smart enough to... I have a healthy fear of anything bigger, more hungry than me, and faster than me.
Well, mating season for pandas is only 2 to 3 days a year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know for a while it was really, really bad, because even in captivity, they did everything they could to encourage them, and they don't want to mate.
Are we talking the pandas we get from China?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why they're
going extinct.
Yeah, going extinct. It's because,
Now, are they bears or pandas?
I don't think they're technically bears.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. We call it a panda bear.
Well, but we call koala bear.
I know.
Yeah. I don't think that they're technically bears. I can't remember. I know.
What would be the difference,
and the red panda is not technically a panda.
Well, the red panda...
See, that was a segue.
The giant panda is a bear.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they are
I
bears.
was about to say, how is that not a bear?
They look like a bear.
Because some of them I think are marsupials because they have pouches, like a koala. But what makes a bear a bear?
I couldn't tell you.
I guess if it...
Red panda, by contrast, is not a bear because it's closely related to raccoons and weasels.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's something to do with genetics.
Is a... How do you spell koala? K-A...
K-O-A.
K-O-A.
Koala. Yeah. L-A. Sound it out, Todd.
The blind leading the blind.
Hey, I am not a spelling bee winner.
No, koala is not a bear, although it's called a koala bear. It's a marsupial.
I knew that one, yeah. Because they got the
I thought the black and white panda was also.
marsupial.
I thought it also had a pouch, but I was wrong.
Well, the baby pandas, they're so small at birth, they actually weigh about the same as a stick of butter. It's only like 4 ounces when they're born.
That's little
and they're
bitty.
blind.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, most things are born with their eyes shut, so they're like cats, dogs, and things. They don't see anything for like 6 weeks.
Those baby
But 4
pandas
ounces?
are hilarious, though.
Bitty.
Whenever they're in the pen with them, the workers, and trying to clean and corral them, and they're just
I like watching
so
them.
mischievous.
I like watching the panda videos because they do silly stuff. The one where the mom is eating and the baby sneezes.
Well, they're just so resilient. I mean, they'll freaking fall.
I have seen that one.
They'll freaking fall out of a tree and like it's nothing. You know, it's like.
And then they look around like, what just
Yeah.
happened? Who pushed me? And they did it.
It's like whenever you think that you're having a dream that you're falling or something like that, but they actually do.
Yeah, exactly. And then they look around like it was somebody else, and not their fault.
I like watching the videos where they do like magic tricks for the monkeys, and the monkeys are like, they get all excited.
Precious.
Give me a heart attack. Come through the glass. We talked about the aquarium with the cracked glass.
Oh, yeah,
those
that's
ones when something comes running at it, I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, the Zoo Knoxville is actually known as the red panda capital of the world because there's been more red pandas that have been born there than any other zoo in the world.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're cute.
Not that it's a bear, kind of. But hey, we do the best we can.
I haven't been to the Knoxville Zoo in a long time. I remember when they still had polar bears there. They used to have the polar bears, and they had to get rid of them because the heat. They didn't do well here.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, even with the environment that they provided for them, it wasn't enough. It was hard to keep them healthy. So I remember when they got rid of the polar bears, I was all sad. I was like, oh no.
Although, if there's ever like a natural disaster, like something like that happens in our area, I'd be pretty glad that those polar bears aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
It's like Jurassic Park, just
Yeah.
waiting to happen.
Just let the polar bears go here.
Like the 27 monkeys that got loose in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Did they ever? I never.
They got it. It took them forever. It was like
They've got them all.
It was like 40 something, and they caught like 20 something the first couple days, and they said there was another 20 something that was just hanging out in the area, like in the trees and stuff around the area where they got released from, and I don't know, they just all got loose, and they were like experimenting on these monkeys and stuff, like they're in a research facility. Like who knows what they had.
What could go wrong?
Isn't that the beginning of Planet of the Apes?
Literally that, yes.
Slash, never mind. It was bats that started COVID.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
You're going to get us flagged and demonetized. Well, that was a good episode. No, yeah, and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And check us out on YouTube. Listen on multiple platforms and send it to your friends.
Don't pet the bears.
Yeah. Please share with your friends. We highly appreciate it.
And join every Wednesday for new episodes. See y'all next week.
See you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you or someone you know is thinking about buying or selling real estate in East Tennessee, email us at holler@yarpod.com. You can also reach Brittany Hawkins at 423-270-9572, Todd Huber at 865-456-0101, Tyler Letner at 865-816-0076, and Nick Cantey at 865-250-5167. Our office at Wallace Real Estate can be reached at 865-584-4000. Make sure to ask for YARPod. See y'all next week.